some of the time having issues, having this conversation with the coach of Kano Pillars, Ibrahim Musa. But said a lot of interesting things, Chidebere and Tayo. And when the coach tells you that we have all the players I need, it means that that coach is not ready to give you excuses.
Of course, if you have the backing of the governor of your state, which they of course bring the finances that make it possible for these teams to run, then you don't have excuses. They've been able to acquire 4 players or 5 already added to what they already have. So for me, I think they are a team you expect to do well, but then of course it's only in the NPFL that you know that any team, absolutely any team, can come out and win the title, and it's a good one. It's a good one, of course. If they can, do what they should have done. If you play your game right, you should be able to go ahead and do well. But their home form last season wasn't what it should have been. Because, of course, in the EPL, we know that your home form determines how far you get to go. If you win your games at home, then you can go here and there away from home and pick up results. So they need to get it right, both at home and away from home. And then, of course, we know that what down the MFM last season was their awful away form. If they had picked up a couple of points away from home. So Kano Pillars will have to look at themselves, score more goals, because last season they were lacking in that angle too.
Interesting. Just before we leave Kano Pillars, they dominated from 2013.
Through to 16.
I think 12, 13, 14. Back-to-back title 3. And last season wasn't good at all. And but a lot of teams didn't perform really well last season. Eimba, one of the side. Rangers, a lot of traditional sides
came back.
Yeah, I mean, but in terms of competing for the title, they were not really in the running. Let's be frank about that one. So 2018 looks like it's going to be a very competitive one. A lot of those big sides will try to, attempt to go for the title, and you have to include Kano Pillars in that bracket as well too. But from everything we have on ground right now, from the players they have, because if you want to compare their recruitment to a side like Eimba or even Ifeanyi, I mean, it doesn't look like they're getting, like those marquee signings that take the club to the next level. I don't know, what was your take on that one?
It's the NPFL, and I don't necessarily think buying those known names have always worked out. I don't think it always gets you the results. The thing is, you acquire players that are suitable to your team. You acquire players that will enhance your team and not just put other people on the bench. So for me, I think looking at the likes of Eimba, Rivers United, of course, if they can sort their problems, Rangers, if they can sort their problems, a lot of problems with this traditional team. So they have to first of all sort out their issues. If they can do that, we will have a competitive season. Alternatively, we are open to the kind of surprise we had last season. The MFMs, they struggled the season before, came back to be title contenders, and then Pt.2 United winning it for the first time in their history. We're open to surprises like that. But if the traditional teams are ready to do business, then it will be a good one for the league.
All right.
Absolutely. So that's it for the Nigerian Professional Football League. We'll continue our preview, our countdown to kickoff, which is scheduled for January the 14th. That's when the 2018 Nigerian Professional Football League will kick off. Let's move on now. Let's talk international football, but still Africa-related. Yaya Toure, that's a story coming out of England and coming out of Cote d'Ivoire. Yaya Toure, absolute legend, has made a U-turn, and he has decided to come out of retirement. And Chidebere, I know you're aware of this news, and a lot of people are wondering why has he decided to do it now? Why didn't he come back when it was needed in that crucial game against Morocco?
When they could have qualified for the World Cup.
Now they haven't qualified for the World Cup. Yaya Toure says he's coming back. And, I mean, can you try and rationalize Yaya Toure's decision to come out of retirement?
There must have been need for him. This discussion would not have started today. It would not have been a sudden decision that he made. Unfortunately, he was not available to help them qualify for the World Cup. But if they had qualified for the World Cup and he comes out of retirement, he would have been criticized. Why are you coming to take somebody's space? Now he's coming let's qualify for African Cup of Nations. He's won it. So it's not like he's been to 3 World Cups, I think two World Cups. So you won't say there's anything, you know, he's missing in the Ivorian national team. So for me, for him to come back, it must be either personal reasons or the team needs him.
They need his guidance.
Yeah, you could see the lack of leadership in that Ivorian team. They were all over the place, both away and at home in the World Cup qualifiers. So a leader like AKURE is what any team can do with.
But at 34,
what can he offer?
Yeah, I mean, on
leadership.
the pitch now, let's forget about the intangibles, leadership and guidance. I mean, in terms of football itself, he doesn't get to play for City. He doesn't play a lot of games.
But then when he gets to play,
City,
you see that this man, he has the ability.
Even at the height of his powers, he struggles. African football is struggles. Even at the height of his powers.
Like I said earlier, club football and national team football, they are two different things entirely. Look at Mikel Obi. He's almost at the same age as AKURE, but he's excelling in the national team because the team is learning to play, you know, around Mikel Obi, you know, play to his strength, which is working to our benefit. The Ivorians, you could see them in the mid. There's no control in that midfield for them, and it's something they really could do with. At 34, you cannot write off his talent. Look at Carlos Puyo. Of course, he played as much as old as that. This Italian, the Italian magician,
Francesco Totti?
Not Totti. Pello. Look at Pello. You know, these are players that, yes, the energy is no longer there, but the talent is inborn. They can always exhibit it, and you can never underestimate their influence on their team when they play. Right. African football might not be as flowy as the European football, but I still think he has a lot to give to that Ivorian side.
Still a lot to offer for AKURE. AKURE announced his retirement a couple of years ago, but he's back now, and he wants to play for Cote d'Ivoire again. 97 appearances he made for Cote d'Ivoire, scoring 19 goals. I wish him all the best as he makes that comeback sometimes next year. We need to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at what the papers are saying.